Hi guys, it's Martin Curry from Belief Media. I made a video this morning out of one of the display villages in Western Sydney where I talked about, briefly, I may have talked about real estate agents and accountants, I don't remember, but certainly the two phone calls that I've had in the last half hour or so have been from brokers that have struggled to garnish partnerships in the real estate space. And they both asked me, what are you doing? Like, what are the methods used? Because we've had zero success. Now, I'm only going to talk about one very small part of our real estate partner program because it is really extensive and it'll take me 100 videos kind of to get through it. It requires a little bit of training and an understanding on how to implement this stuff, particularly as it relates to technology. So, that said, first and foremost, right, I do want to talk just briefly about accountants, because accountants are well and truly, in terms of your partnership programs, accountants are tier one, they're what we call tier one introducers. There's tier 1, 2 and 3. Accounts are up the top, and they're part of an entire other program where we introduce them into a partner aggregation network, where we introduce as many as we can and provide them with a range and a suite of tools and technology that they can use to improve upon their business. With a new product we're rolling out in a few weeks, it makes it even easier. Now, I guess even partnerships with accountants, I deal with brokers every day. I probably hear it maybe 3 to 5 times a week where people say, I find it hard to deal with accountants because, you know, they don't take me seriously, they never get back to me, they have no interest in what I'm doing. And that's because the information presented to the industry from all these nonsense coaches is kind of BS, right? I've heard so many times where coaches and facilitators of some type, people that work with aggregation groups, will say, go to an accountant and find their pain point. I hear that particular phrase all the time. Find their pain point and then solve their problem. Right, now, accountants understand that brokers can become qualified in 3 days. They know it's not, the most difficult profession to enter. So when they look upon brokers, they don't see what you know to be true, and that is the essential role that you play in facilitating home loans and building wealth for individuals. They don't see that. They kind of see themselves at the top of the pyramid, and nobody else can kind of intrude upon that space. So in terms of identifying a pain point, their job is kind of solving problems, and they don't think a broker is going to walk through the door and solve any specific problem for them. They feel like they already have options in place, and that's why our partnership program is tailored entirely differently, where it's basically massaging their ego and providing them with a ridiculously good and effective service. And it's why the success rate is so high, like well above, probably 10 times what is experienced in the broader industry. Now, when we hear that sentence, go in and identify their pain points and see what you can do to fix them. You can't fix them, right? You're not going to fix the problems that accountants have. Maybe as it relates to finance, you might be able to give them suggestions. You're certainly not going to be able to fix anything because they already have those solutions in place most of the time. What you need to do is to fix the problems that they don't know that they have. And that's where our partnership program just introduces a whole new dimension to their operation and gives them scope to build upon what they're doing and grow tremendously on the back of what you introduce to their business. Real estate agents are a little bit different. Right? Historically, real estate agents have not been the best introducers. Again, we kind of have to take the same tack. That is, we approach these people and provide solutions to problems that they do not know that they have. And we can usually do that through clever use of technology, which is supported by old school relationship stuff. I'm going to give you a few examples. A lot of what we do is broadly protected, because we don't want other people copying what we do, because we're sick to death of people just walking away with their ideas and pretending that they're their own. So let's just talk about 1 or 2 things. In fact, let's talk about 2. First is open homes. We'll talk about open homes and auctions. And auctions very briefly. Open homes, if you haven't ever done so, go to a couple of open homes. Go to 2 or 3. As a potential buyer and just run through the process. Don't visit those places that are close to you. Go and visit those places that are geographically sort of a pain in the ass. So you're not going to come across those real estate agents when you start to embark on these programs yourself. But you need to understand the client journey. what clients are exposed to, because what we do is we provide a partial fix to that and integrate technology in different types of solutions. The open home is generally a pen and paper exercise. That is, an individual will go to an open home and a real estate guy will be sitting there at the door or something with a clipboard, and he'll ask for your name, email and phone number. They'll follow up on you as they do everybody, and it's a fairly generic and vanilla experience. It's not very dynamic and it's a bit boring. A far more sensible thing to do is to enter those details into a digital platform of some type. Now, if you're using a CRM that facilitates it, great, you've already got that in place, as long as you follow that up with some communication, some relevant communication. Now, let me be quite clear on that. Our Yabba system, it's a Microsoft 365 driven system. Our email marketing system is very scalable. It handles anything virtually you throw at it. When mailing lists are created, we've got parent mailing categories, right, which might be first-time buyers or refinancing or whatever else. Under those categories, you've got specific lists. All those lists are effectively an autoresponder program, and it enables a huge amount of scope with the type of segregation you apply to communication, either when somebody subscribes via a form or otherwise. Now, that's what we advocate when somebody visits a real estate agent for an open home. Have a digital form, because as somebody enters those details into that form, those details then will submit their details everywhere, CRMs, Microsoft contact groups, and within your system it does all sorts of stuff. Potentially sends them a text message, but also subscribes them to an autoresponder program, a geographically relevant autoresponder program that you have created specifically for that property. The information is delivered in a way that is agreed upon by you and the real estate agent, and the type of information that you're able to deliver yourself is dependent largely on the maturity of the relationship that you have in place. Because we advocate that you send a lot of that information that's available through Saturn, which is local schools and childcare and care facilities and entertainment venues and points of interest and the crime rates, all those sorts of things that people might be interested in, including comparative data. So this particular suburb compared to surrounding suburbs in terms of education age and mortgage payments, all those sorts of things. So we like to give people a good understanding of where they're buying, with the purpose of escalating them into a mortgage client. And it's very easy to do that when you become the center of all knowledge. And our system provides for that. In fact, it's super simple to do. The time it takes. This morning we set up, we set up specifically 8 email lists, and that was just for a small group that we were dealing with today. And each email list has just 4 emails. And in 3 or 4 days, those guys can add to those emails if they want. But for the moment, this is 4 emails in there. One that's sent immediately, one that's sent a day later. There's a text message also that's sent to those guys. So real estate guys aren't really familiar with how to incorporate digital into a persuasive sales experience, because what we're doing is manufacturing a funnel, a marketing funnel. And the marketing funnel is obviously designed to escalate and convert, but it's also designed to educate and inform. It's double-edged in the function that it performs, and it's highly, highly, highly effective. If we think of this post-inspection funnel, it becomes this education process where we have to nurture that individual. If they don't buy from us on this property, they'll buy from us from another property, because they'll certainly be in touch with us. And that's from the real estate agent's perspective. From us, we're just looking to obviously inherit those people as financial clients, so we're able to look after them for life and provide them with an amazing solution. So open homes can be amazing. I'll talk another time about how to develop those relationships, how to introduce yourself, and how to introduce the technology, and how you can get 50 real estate agents on the books, because it is not hard. The difficult part of dealing with real estate agents and open homes is you won't be able to staff them all on a weekend, because you won't be able to be everywhere at the same time. But as your relationship with the real estate agent matures, you will be the financial consultant for their business, so they won't mind despite the fact you're providing this follow-up communication at times, they'll appreciate the value that you provide. Remember, people that go in and inspect homes can't always afford it. Half the time it's because they haven't had sound financial advice. It's your job to do that. So the real estate agent leans on you to improve upon the borrowing capacity of those clients, so they're able to actually buy. So it improves upon their bottom line, it improves upon their conversions. It just does. Now, in terms of auctions, I may not talk about it because this video has gone on for 10 minutes, but in terms of auctions, there is a ton we can do to add value to that experience. In fact, I'll talk again about auctions tomorrow, because there are 7 key points. At any auction, there are 7 things you must do. And if you don't walk away from any single auction without a client, we need to then run a SWOT analysis over what you've done and identify the specific points of failure, because auctions will always return some kind of result. You'll go out in days and the results will be poor, but the results will be there nonetheless. So guys, just in terms of real estate agents, they can be really good. I didn't talk about the rent roll. Just very, very quickly, it's worth discussing this, and real estate agents need you for this. You form an important part in the rent roll equation, and that is developing renters into buyers. So they need a financial consultant there to provide that advice, whether that be through their office or through some other medium. It doesn't matter, but you are what facilitates that. Rent rolls add value to a real estate business, no doubt. But real estate agents make a larger commission off a sale, and they're always leaning towards a sale. Rent rolls will always be there. They'll always grow. The way you can support that is obviously very different. I'll talk about that another day. But just in terms of those open homes, I would have liked to have talked for longer, guys, but honestly, 12 minutes. I talk for too long. I appreciate that. In terms of open homes, there are a ton of things you can do. Please, if you're a client, lean on Yabba, lean on the forms, lean on the tech, lean on the email systems, lean on the SMS systems. Make sure you talk to me about how you can implement these programs, and if you run them locally, I'll always come out and support you for the first couple, because we want you to see results and we need you to have see significant success. So please give me a call. Even if you're not a client, I'm happy to talk to you about the general broad nature of some of these programs. I won't give the specifics away just because you're you're not a client. So as always, this obviously everything you do has to be supported by top-notch technology. Certainly a great website, of course, which we provide. We still provide the leading website framework in the industry, just without question. It is the highest converting framework. It is the only funnel-centric framework, and is the only escalation and conditional framework within any industry in the country, as far as we know. It is the only Microsoft 365 integrated experience, and it just performs really, really well. If you're not supported by good digital, then you're just costing yourself time, effort, and energy. Certainly don't use Wix and WordPress hosted garbage and all that sort of stuff. Just give us a call. Very affordably priced, and once you have that in place, you have the capacity to fulfill the needs of your partners and put these programs in place. If your programs of any type, particularly your relationship and partner programs, aren't supported by digital, then your programs don't exist. You need to give us a call to understand why and how. 1300 235 433 is our office number. 1300 Belief. My mobile number is 0400 777 300. Visit our website at beliefmedia.com.au. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.